Hey guys, Anthony here with AZ Overland. Now if you follow the channel for a while, you know I'm a big fan of switch panels for controlling aftermarket lights and accessories. And as a matter of fact, I've done quite a few videos on switch panels, including the Auxbeam and the mic tuning, how to wire and how to connect into vehicles, mainly Toyotas, but they will apply to most vehicles. Today, I'm really excited about a new switch panel that I have that I'll be installing in the 4Runner soon. This is the D switch from Diode Dynamics, and it just got released earlier this year. I've been waiting to get my hands on it, and I finally did a few months ago, and I've been working and experimenting with it. Now, there's a reason why I'm very excited about this one. I think this is the best switch panel on the market currently. The reason why I'm so excited about this particular switch panel is that it is fully controllable, smart, and Bluetooth enabled. It allows an incredible amount of control over aftermarket accessories for your lights, compressors, winches, or whatever else you may control with it. As you can see, I put everything on a board so I can better explain it and give you a better understanding of how the wiring is done as well. I have wired up here 2 lights, which will be on button number 1. I have 2 pod lights, but I separated them. So this pod light will be on button number 2. This one will be on button number 3. And then I have a horn on button number 4. Let's go over some of the components that come with the switch panel. Here is the control module, or control box I call it. The cover is IP67 rated, which has great resistance to water. It also comes with the wiring that you see mostly here and the 8-button touch panel. Behind the touch panel, you can't see it, but there is a bracket that actually swivels and that can be mounted in numerous locations. So if we take the cover off of the control box, you can see how the wiring is done. The red will go to the positive side of the battery. The black will go to the negative side or the battery or a very good chassis ground. Then you have one simple plug which is wired into the control box. It simply plugs in. And from there, it leads down and it breaks off. It's a little bit low on the video so you can't see it, but it breaks off into 3 connections, and they're simple plug and play connections. 2 of them lead up right here, and that's where you connect your touch panel to. The other one I branched off and it goes up and around, and it's a connection right here. And that is for these trigger wires, which I'll explain a little bit more later. I think one of the unique features about this switch panel is the app. It connects seamlessly to the app, which I'm going to show you momentarily. And from that app, you have almost a limitless number of ways you can control these lights and accessories. Let me show you how everything works just with the panel here. And then we're going to go back to the app, and I'll show you how to control it from the app. All right, so I'm going to walk around. If I press the power button on right here, you'll see the lights come on. And you'll see number 1 is connected here. Number 2 is connected to that light. Number 3 is connected to this light. And number 4 is the horn. Now the horn is super loud, so I put a little rag up in there so it doesn't blow my dog out of the water. So you're saying, what's so special about this switch panel? Don't all switch panels do the same thing? Well, let's get to the app. And before I get to the app, just real briefly, I want to go over the wiring. These 2 lights come together and are wired together with the harness. Then they'll both come up and into button number 1, negative, positive. And it simply just screws right into the control box. This I wired separately. This goes up into button number 2, which will be negative, positive. Same thing, it's very simple to wire up. The 3rd one goes up and connects the same way, and then the horn connects the same way. Now, if your lights have backlighting, which many lights do nowadays, they'll have a separate wire. Now that wire will come up and go to the second part of the junction right here. This side, and I'll show you a close-up, is specifically designed for backlights. So you control the backlights separately, or you can have all your backlights come on at the same time. I'm going to control it from my phone, but I'm going to put a pop-up on the screen if all works well on how the app is working, and I'll guide you along on the app. All right, so I have the app open and connected, and it should be popping up on the screen somewhere. I think I'll try to put it over here. We'll see how it works out with the editing. As you can see on the top left, I have button number 1, which controls those 2 lights up there. So if I press the button 1, you'll see those lights come on. Button 2, I'm going to press, 3, and then the horn, 4. What's great about this switch panel is the available options that you have for all these accessories. If I go into settings, which is on the bottom right of the app here, and I go to the top, which says button and channel, and press that, Now you have all these gears or cogs with all the buttons. Now you can customize each button. So if I press button number 1, you can see that I can actually name the button whatever I want. I can put a picture on that button, and it's all right here on the top select press icon. So right there, I have all my icons. As you can see, I'm going to scroll down and I can choose an icon, whatever I want for that button. If I press cancel, I can use a photo. So if you press that second button, take or select photo, it'll go to your gallery in your phone. You can select any photo you want for the icon. Or you can use a name. And right now I have it listed as button number 1. I can call it ditch lights, or I can call it bar lights, or whatever I want to call it. Now, as you scroll down and it says linked channels, I don't have this channel linked. I just have button number 1 controlling one set of lights. But I have different options. As I scroll down, you'll see a momentary switch. So if I switch that on and I press the button, once I release the button, it goes off. So it'll be an on-off with the press. If I scroll down even further, you'll see where it says action channel 1. And right now I don't have any other lights or accessories linked to channel number 1 or button number 1. So we're just going to work with button number 1. And I'm going to show you how this works. You can see all the options. I can go from full on down to 30% power, and you can see on the bottom, the very bottom, I already have checked 30% power. So when these came on, it was only on 30%. Now if I want to do full on, I'll click full on, which I just did. Now in order to lock that in, on the top left you'll see the back button. So back and then back again. Now on the bottom left you'll see control. Now I have my button number 1, which is my front. I put it as a pod light, but you can put whatever you want, as we mentioned. If I press that button, that'll be full on. It's going to be bright, just to warn you. So that's full on. Now let's change this up a little bit. Let's go back onto the bottom right settings. Let's go to button channel again. Let's go to the button number 1, which I'm actually going to use button number 1. I'm going to switch back to button number 1 instead of that icon that I had. Then I'm going to scroll all the way down, and I'm going to put on triple burst flash A. Now, if you have multi-mode lights, this may or may not work. And also, I just want to give a warning that and I'm serious, if you have any sort of issues with flashing lights, seizures or whatever, they're going to be flashing lights in this video, so please be aware of that. So now that I have it on triple burst flash A, I'm going to go to the top left again. I'm going to scroll back, and I'm going to scroll back once more, and then I'm going to go to the bottom left, which is control. Now I have my control panel back up. I'm going to press button number 1, and we should get a triple burst. So it's similar to a strobe. Now, if I go back into the settings, button channel, and button number 1, so I can take control of button number 1 again, you'll see that I have all different types of options, from 90% power to 30% power, and all types of different strobing sequences. So I can also add, let's say I wanted to add this light, number 2, onto number 1. I'll show you how to do that. If you go where it says linked channels right in the middle here, and I'll scroll down, I'll take channel number 2, which will be this one. And I'll put the same action for all channels, which means whatever I program this to, this will do the same. Now, if you see where it says sync all channels, I'll turn that on, or same action for all channels. Or if I leave it off, I can actually program this separately than this. So I can do a strobe A here and a strobe B here. So, all right, so we're going to keep everything the same. So for all channels, I'm going to put it on, let's say, turn signal flash B, which is right in the middle there. Now I'll hit the top left back, and then bottom left, which says control. And now when I press button number 1, those two and this one should go into a blinking. So I'll turn that off. Okay, if I go back to settings, I go to button channel, I go to button number 1. I'm going to uncheck channel number 2 here. And I want to show you something with the horn, which is on button number 4. So if I go into button number 4, and I have it on right now momentary. So that's ideal for horns or things like that. It's even good for like a winch. So if I click it off and I press that button, that horn will not turn off until I press the button again. So I'm going to leave a horn, which you want, on a momentary switch. I can also put the horn, like as you see, on 30% power. So the horn is on its lowest setting. So if I put the horn on 90% power, this might scare my dog. Well, let's try it. I go back, I hit the control button bottom left. Now number 4 should be 90% power on this horn. You can hear it's quite loud. So it's muffled because I have that rag in there. But let's go back to the settings on the bottom right, and I'm going to go back to button number 4. I'm going to put 30% so we don't hurt anybody's ears. Okay. You can also switch, like if I wanted this to be on channel number 5, I can move it to channel number 5, very simply. Also, I can pair all these lights together in different modes. So I'll show you that one last thing because I'm going to do a video that gets more into depth on the actual app. But I just want to show you one more thing. If I go down to the, or up, I should say, on the top, button and channel, and I go to, let's say, button number 5. Now I've already done this. So button number 5, I'll scroll down and it says the linked channels to button 5 are 2, 3, and let's put on number 1 too. I've now linked 1, 2, and 3. So we can put them on full on, or I could put them on a strobe, but let's leave them on full on. It's going to be bright. Actually, let's power it down. Let's go to 70%. Okay. Now I'm going to go back. I'll go back again, and then the bottom left control. So when I hit button 5, all 3 of these should operate at the same time. Now if I wanted to go back and remove button or light number 3 or remove light number 2 or whatever it is, you can do that. It's all fully customizable. Let's see what happens when I hit button number 6. I programmed that, but I forgot what it is. It's all on. What about button 7? All right, so button 7 is kind of like a blinking motion, and I've linked all of them together. All right, let's get out of the app, and I want to show you something else with the wiring, which I think is really cool. One thing with the D-switch, which is incredible, is these set of wires right here. Don't be intimidated by them. I'm actually going to unravel them, and I'll show you what they're capable of doing. They're a little nested up, but these are called trigger wires. So we have 4 trigger wires here. The blue one is night mode. If you connect that to a 12-volt source, when your headlights come on and all the lights in the cabin dim, the panel will also dim automatically. You can also program this wire also as a trigger wire. So what is a trigger wire? Let's say I take sensor wire number 1, and they're labeled, and I want to use it as a trigger wire. I have pod lights that are mounted low on my bumper in the rear of my truck. So when I put my vehicle in reverse, I want those lights to come on with my reverse lights. So how do you do that? Simply take one of your trigger wires, tap it into your 12-volt source, which would be your reverse lights, and now automatically it automates when you put your vehicle in reverse. Your lower lights in your bumper will come on when your reverse lights come on. So you can do so many things with these trigger wires. There's also one wire here, which is the white one, which is called the ignition sensor. So this one would be, you can tap into an accessory, and I've done videos on this. You can tap into an accessory fuse or accessory wire, and when you turn your car into the accessory position or even the on position, the panel will automatically come on. As if you don't use this, you have to manually operate the panel, which some people actually really enjoy, which means if I press off, the whole thing goes off and on. So if this wire is not connected and I get into the car and I turn it on, my panel stays off until I hit the power button. If I want it to automatically come on every time I start the car or put the key in the accessory or on position, I simply make sure that this is tapped into the correct area. And when I turn the vehicle on, the panel is ready to roll. So it's up to you to use this. But these trigger wires can all be programmed just like we program from the app. We have 8 channels and we have 8 slots. We have 4 15-amp slots. We have 4 30-amp slots. And then you can connect up to 8 backlights. So There are other cool features which I'll get into later on another video because it gets really in depth. I just wanted to go over the basic idea of why this switch panel is so special. Another question you may be asking are, where are the fuses? The fuses are all programmed with your phone. So let's say you have a 7 amp draw on button number 1, which are these lights. So you want to put your fuse, you can set your fuse to the app. You want to set it to 10 amps. So if I go to the bottom right settings, and I go to output channel, which is with the lightning bolt, and I go to channel number 1, you can see right now I have the max output current set to 15 amps. So if I simply hit the back button or the negative button, I can take those amperages down to 10 amps. So channel number 1, if I get a surge of more than 10 amps, it's going to blow the circuit. But you will reset it from the app as well. Everything is solid state and internal. So if I go to, just say on the upper channels, which are 5 through 8, you'll notice that I have up to 30 amps. So those are for the bigger accessories. And I can take it all the way down. So keep in mind that you have so much control with this. Let's go to the sensor wires real fast. So if I go to sensor wire number 1, which is the red one, you can see that channel number 1 is here, and then I can also make things happen with anything that's connected to sensor wire number 1, which is the red wire. Like I said, you have so much control with this switch panel. Now, if you want something very basic and very simple, the Auxbeam switch panel is a great choice. If you have a little bit of a bigger budget, this goes for, I believe, $600. But if you have a bigger budget and you want full control over all of your lights and accessories, this is definitely one to look at. As a matter of fact, I like this switch panel so much. Yes, I'm taking the Auxbeam out of the Forerunner, and this is going into the Forerunner, which I'll do an install video on as well. I reached out to Diode Dynamics and applied to become a dealer. I was accepted. I am now a Diode Dynamics dealer. So you will see the D switch on my website, and you'll be covered through Diode Dynamics warranty if you do order from my website. I think this is the best switch panel out. It's the reason why I purchased it. It was within my budget, and it's going into the Forerunner, and the Auxbeam is coming out. Auxbeam has served me well for many years, so I'm not going to say anything bad about it. But this is the new switch panel for the Forerunner. All right, before I end this video, I have to show you one more thing I'm really excited about. Since I got the D-switch, I've been designing my own bracket, specifically for 5th Gen Forerunners. I have them made, and they are designed specifically to bolt right in to the inner fender on the driver's side of the Forerunner. And this is how it will look with the Auxbeam. And then the D-switch control box is quite a bit bigger, so it will sit just off. But all the holes that you see on here will line up with the mounting holes of the D-switch and the mounting holes of the Auxbeam. Now keep in mind, the Auxbeam does have a few different panels. Now this one is for the silver label. It's the one that I've had in my vehicle for several years. I think it's the BA80 if I remember correctly. Now some of the other Auxbeams, like the later models, are a little bit bigger, but that being said, is that I don't see why you still couldn't use a different Auxbeam with this panel and just drill the holes where you need them. But like I said, this will bolt up directly to the inner fender on the driver's side. There are 2 bolt holes already threaded. Just put that in there. And there's 2 bolt holes on the bottom right here, which are already threaded. And I'll provide all the bolts that you need to mount either panel and to mount this. One thing to keep in mind is on the later years of the 5th generation Forerunners, there is a distribution or fuse box that's on the inner fender, which will need to be relocated, which is a simple relocation. And then you can use this for all 5th gen Forerunners. Anyway, guys, thank you for sticking around. I hope this was an informative video. If so, if you have any questions or you have any comments, please leave them below. I answer all questions on the videos. Also, please don't forget, I will try to do a more in-depth, if there's a demand for it, video on just the app and exactly how to use all the features of the app. I will also be doing a video on how to mount this in a 5th gen Forerunner. If you stuck around to the end, I really appreciate it. Please hit the subscribe button as well. Feel free to visit the website at azoverland.net. I have a lot of really cool patches, stickers, and different types of gear apparel like this hat, this shirt. And don't forget, life begins where the pavement ends. I'll see you in the next one, guys.